All right, we're burning some peach brush today, so I figured it'd be a good time to show you guys how to trim a peach tree. So all these are trimmed. These are mature trees going into about year 14, so probably coming more towards the end of their life. And honestly, it's really not that hard. So you come in here to these middles, and we left a few. It's really open, but a lot of the stuff that's coming straight up into the middle, you want to take all that out. Why? Because that defeats your open center purpose. All these that are going up, yes, these are older, so we're leaving some of them, but most of this, anything that was in here that was just coming straight up and right into this middle area, gone. Then you kind of look at the tops. Well, peach trees like to grow straight up, and they grow pretty tall. So we got to bring them down. And we do a pretty good job of keeping them all even, but we got to bring them down because we only like to use 6-foot ladders in here. We like to use no ladders, but as the tree gets older, it keeps coming up because all this stuff starts to die off. All your little trash that was everywhere, that starts to die off, unfortunately. So once you make some of these cuts to bring them down, really, you're just going to thin them out a little bit. So some of these branches you're going to nip that are super long, bring them back. A lot of ones that are going straight up, you try and thin back. And you try and set your box again. So you can see there's kind of a defined area we try and keep the tree. So we'll try and cut those back. So if there's branches, this one may have been hanging way out here. We'll cut that off because we want to make sure the tractors and everything get through here without getting hit or scratched or any of all that stuff. And it's somewhat similar to apples in the thing that we always say, cut the big stuff out first, leave all the small trash. Peaches like to grow on your 1-year-old wood. So all the big stuff, the 2-3-year-old wood, well, they don't like that anyway. So try and keep that young, fresh redwood. Now let's go check out some younger trees. This is also a standard 9x18 planting. And Dad's still burning. All right, now some younger peaches. These are probably going into year 5, maybe 6. You can see we've done a lot better job of keeping these out, making sure they're not growing in the middle too much. Also, we have trash all the way to the bottom. So we have peaches all the way down here, and they're not just all clustered at the top. So with these, similar kind of thing. I want to keep the middles extremely open. So a lot of this stuff you can see was all cut out. I probably would have took this one out too, but it is what it is. But you keep those middles open. You want to make sure you don't have branches falling on top of one another. If there was a branch right here, would have cut that out because this one's going to shade it out. Cutting these back. Again, we don't want things coming way out in the middle of the row, so cutting some of these larger ones back. Maybe even taking it back to here. Making some big cuts. Remember, big cuts, leave the trash. Again, still bringing them down and leaving that red wood, that new red wood. That's where the peaches are growing on the following season. Here's a good example. This branch is dead because this branch shaded out last year. Peaches, that happens a lot. And then again, just thinning them out. I mean, that was probably a big branch going way too tall, so we're still bringing them down. We want to keep peaches as low as we can. That way, this block, we need no ladders to pick. It still gets good yield. Quality's good. Middles are open. The only really big difference is the trash you have underneath. So you got to thin some of this out. Like I said, you can't have all this sitting on top of one another. Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of death. They're just going to shade each other out, and that's what causes death in these. So you're going to thin some of these out. And that way you also don't have too many peaches. So peaches, you only need like 25% of a crop to have a full crop. So all of these, we're going to have to come back here and thin a lot of these by hand anyway. So anything we can do now with trimming helps later on reduce the cost of hand thinning. Now we're going to head up to the front of the farm and look at some 2D in-row peaches. So these are some of the 2-liter and 3-liter peach trees we're doing. So these are some 2-liter. So these are pretty easy. We want to keep the branches in row. We try and space about 3 foot apart, and we're kind of treating them each as their own, almost like an apple tree. So just one branch, single out them branches. Kind of thin them out. I stub them. I think there'll be a good amount of peaches on them. I still want to keep growing them out a little bit, so I topped them to kind of keep them the same height. And 3-liters, it's the same thing. I don't necessarily know. I'm not seeing a lot down here, so I left some more of this stuff. I may have left them a little thick this year. We'll find out, but the 3-liters, the trees are calmer. The 2-liters, you can see we definitely have a lot more thickness in each of the scaffold limbs. So I don't know. I mean, these are only going into year 3, but I do like that this wood is thinner, and the 3-liters are kind of spread in between here. There's some 2s, there's some 3s all sporadically down. And on all of them so far, I'm seeing a lot thinner wood on the 3 leaders. The trees are calmed down more, shorter branches, a lot of nice growth. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. We'll see you in the next one.